I can tell you, as being a sponsor, a speaker, and I was facilitating the event myself. Showing up that morning of, it was in May too. It was something like May 18th to 2018. I have a poster back there somewhere. That okay, so it was June 2nd, close enough. But I can never tell you how comforting it was to see Cherri sitting at a table, having everything laid out, all the tags, all the lanyards, all the printer for professional name tags set up. Cherri has worked on World IA Day, World Usability Day, and she's a tireless worker and a wonderful volunteer. And I'm just very proud to know her. So I had to throw that in, Cherri, because those are fond memories that I have of the work that you've done, and those are the things that make this organization successful. And it couldn't have happened. This organization wouldn't be where it is today unless you helped doing what you did before. So with that, I'll turn it over to Cherri, and she'll take over sharing, and I could chat with y'all while she's presenting, and we'll learn about what's going on with UX conferences.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Was not expecting that. Okay. All right. So let's see. I need you to stop sharing so I can share my screen.
Okay. My mouse is given.
I got
Let's see. Okay, thank you.
I got it. All right. So welcome everybody. This is going to be kind of a lighthearted view at things. I just I'll go over the agenda and everything, but I thought this was a good topic because, like you said, we've gone through a pandemic. Some people are just now getting into UX, and it's like, is it worth it? Who goes to these things? How do I get the money to pay for it, and that sort of thing. So I'm hoping I can, give you what the value is. If you decide this is just not for you, then I've done my job. If you decide I'm excited now that I want to go, I've done my job. So I just want you to know that, these resources are out there beyond groups like us. And we enjoy having a community together, all of us learning from each other. And this is just another way that we can. And it's on a huge scale, beyond the small groups that we have now. So I'm hoping that you'll be inspired to go to a conference or two, if not now, then later. I'll tell you a little bit about me. We touched on it a little bit. I moved down to San Antonio in 2011 from Arkansas, and I worked at Public Alliance, which is a WordPress agency, and then I worked at USAA and UT Health and iHeartMedia and FFW agency. So I've done agency and state work and really fast-paced work, that sort of thing. I've got a little bit of all the experience around. I got my bachelor's of science in business management through the University of Phoenix, and I just graduated in 2016 in my 40s. So just know that you can still keep going. And now I am the senior business system analyst at HEB, an outbound supply chain group, which is very, very challenging and fun and amazing to be a part of. And I have been president from 2020 to present to UXSA and really enjoyed it. So that's who I am professionally. Personally, I have been married to this man for 22 years, and we met in high school as friends, and then we met up again 15 years later. We have 4 kids between us, his 2 boys and my son who was married, and then my daughter who lives here in San Antonio, and our fur babies, and my granddaughters who are my pride and joy. So that's who I spend my time with. So anyway, so here's the agenda of what we're going to cover tonight. And we're going to talk about the purpose of conferences and the reasons to attend, and then what to consider when you're looking at conferences, and then picking the conferences and sessions. How do we dig into there? And then how do you get the most benefit out of it when you're there? And then I have a few examples that we're going to go through, and depending on our time, I've got about 3 of them we can dive into. And then what to do with the information after you've gone to the conference. So what do you do with that? And Bob, can you launch the poll? Did we do the poll? Or I can just ask everybody on the chat. If y'all can just answer in the chat, if you've ever been to a conference before, of any kind ever. One of those big conferences with a bunch of people in person or even online. Have y'all ever attended? Just put a yes or a no, or a few of them, or never been, nothing. Okay. UX. Jake, you've never been to a conference?
Not technically.
All right. Jen, okay, well, great. Well, you're in the right place. Good, Roland. You can check me and make sure I'm right. So I just wanted to kind of see where we were on this. So if y'all want to, I wanted to see what your ideas are in the chat and see what you think the purpose of conferences are. If you can just share your thoughts. Again, this is participatory. This is a contacts board here. So if y'all can just share. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we've got to network and share ideas, grow professionally, meet people, learn new ideas. Good. So yeah, this is the main purpose is you hit them. It brings like-minded people together. It creates a community. We learn from each other, and it's a structured environment to do so. Yeah, and learn about new tools. That's right. So they're very, very helpful, but they're also kind of confusing. And it can be overwhelming if you don't know how to go about it. So like you said, you don't want to go to something that could have been very valuable to you, but you didn't know how to navigate it. So I wanted to share some ideas. And first of all, let's see who needs to attend the UX conferences. I put everybody I could think of. I don't know of anybody who's not covered here. It's, pretty much for anybody who's interested and ready to learn is who should attend. Now, the resources and time and things like that may be different, but anybody who wants to learn and be in that environment should be able to go. I don't want you to think in UX specifically, UX conferences, all of these people, and if you go to one, you should see all these people here, all the different career levels and that sort of thing. So so here's some reasons to attend. That it's not just the purpose, but the reasons that you should attend is that you learn from industry experts. And that's this one. I should double click. The UX conferences bring together experts from the industry, from all their experiences and knowledge, and they do keynote speeches and talks and workshops and panel discussions. And it's a great opportunity to learn from the best in the field and gain insights from the latest trends and get inspired by success stories. I know there's many times that I have heard it. I'm like, I have been through that exact thing, and I'm so glad that I'm not the only one. And it really helps you, it resonates with you, and you're like, oh, I'm not the only one who's struggling with this challenge. Another one below that is the networking opportunities. Conferences offer great opportunities to connect with other professionals, UX professionals, and different industries, different backgrounds, because you can get healthcare, enterprise, all these industries come together because UX is used everywhere, so you can learn about it. learn about how they're using it in different ways. And it provides a platform for the professionals to share their experiences and ideas, and challenges together. Just like, you're hearing from the experts with the networking chances you get, or through different events that they have, and you can connect with someone on a one-on-one basis. So that's a very, very important thing. I have made friends at conferences who I am still friends with now, 12, 15 years later, So it's really, really cool, and it's a lot of fun. The other is the tools that you learn, the latest trends and practices. We all know that there's many tools that you can use to design with, to research with, and that sort of thing. And are you using it to its full capacity? Are there all these what's the newest trends coming out, and has it answered the question, or has it solved the problem that you're trying to fix? There's many frustrations with repositories for researchers, or design tools for designers, and all of that. And this is where you can learn, this is what I'm doing with this new plugin from Figma. This is what I'm doing with this thing. And you can sit down and learn from the people who are using it and how well they've done. So it's really fun to learn those kind of new things. And then the last thing I've got is that a reason to attend is that you enhance your own skills in your brain. You have hard skills and techniques and methods, soft skills. You get to learn all of those things, and you're doing it in real time. And it's really exciting. You learn better by doing and getting in there and doing it. So it's just a good chance to do that, and you get exposed to that, and that's the whole purpose. So it's not trying to learn on the side and sneak it in when you can and that sort of thing. So it allows you that space. So once you get to a conference, and this is remote or in person, some of this is directly in person, but now that you're able to travel and may decide to do that, there's a lot of extra things to think about. So I was just going to go over what to expect whenever you are signing up for a conference. And then we'll talk about how to pick one. So it depends on how long the conference is going to be. And usually if it's more than, say, a half a day, there's going to be some kind of food, if it's in person, of course, or a break for lunch and that sort of thing. And so they'll usually tell you all of that on the website or in the information. So provide water or tea and that sort of thing during the conference. But that's usually either should be included in your fee. But if it's not, they should tell you. So and if it is included, it should be pretty good. So usually I have had that experience. Roland and Bob, y'all can let me know, but usually the food's pretty decent if you're paying all that money for going there. A hotel is usually, they have a hotel blocked off rooms where you can buy, you pay for the hotel room. Sometimes it's included in the fee, sometimes it's not. Nowadays it's pretty much not included, it's additional. But you can rent a room at a discount at the place that they're having the conference. So but usually that's out of convenience, so you can come and go as you need to. And I have done that, and I've also stayed in hotels farther away that were a little cheaper, and then taken public transit or something to the conference. So it's just depending on your level of convenience that you need. You're going to have lots of activities planned, and you don't have to attend them all. There's going to be so many. Usually it's packed full of stuff, and you have to pick and choose. There's no way you can attend everything, even if there was something back to back, people need a break. So don't try to go to every single event. The one things you do need to go to, check in and registration time block. That's usually the evening before or the morning of. They have some kind of welcome event. They have workshops. Sometimes they're before. There's sometimes they're during and sometimes they're after. And they are also sometimes additional. And nowadays, the most I've seen are additional, you know. You're paying for the conference and you have to pay extra for where you stay. And then you have to pay extra for the workshops and those can last anywhere from 2 hours to 2 days, you know, 3 days. So you just know you're going to have lots of different activities, and if it's overlapping, try not to get overwhelmed. Know that it's designed on purpose to keep everybody engaged. The networking opportunities, you're going to go to you can bet if it's more than a day, there's going to be a happy hour. Always. It's going to be a happy hour somewhere. Because they want everybody to get together and you know, relax and all that. And you don't have to attend those, but they're great networking opportunities. And then, you know, lunches and dinners and breakfasts and things like that. They'll have those kind of events that you can network and get to know people, make some friends. Then you're going to have, you're going to be like, what just happened with all of this? Because it's going to be overwhelming. And you're going to like, I don't know what to do with all this information. That's just fire hosed at me. So it's kind of hard to absorb everything, and that's okay. That's completely normal. And I'll discuss about what to do after that, because you're like, that's great, that's great, that's great, and that's great. This is a great person, and I've got to know this person and all of that. And this is all in such a short amount of time. It's hard to process it all. So don't, you know, feeling overwhelmed is normal. And then I don't know how many of you watch Ted Lasso, but you also have an overwhelming feeling of inspiration. I want you to expect that. If you don't, you're in the wrong place. You didn't pick the right one. So you should be feeling inspired, and that's, you know, coming up with new ideas, thinking about things, and like, I could do it this way, and I can share this information with that person, and be very excited about it, because that means it's served its purpose, you know. So those are things to expect to get out of a conference. And you can also wanted to bring up, whenever they're doing presentations and they're doing, you know, days and that sort of thing, there's some of them they call them on certain tracks. There may be a design track, a research track, a development track, or a business track, that sort of thing. And those are, you know, geared towards those people. They may have themes that they're trying to cover. You know, the past, the present, the future, or something like that, that they're trying to cover. So just be aware that those, you can expect those kind of groupings of presentations and events. Okay, so what do you consider when you're going? We talked about, you know, you're going to have food and hotel and all of that stuff, but the location of it, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of UX conferences going on 365 days a year. I mean, they're just like, I mean, I don't know if hardly any that they're not, and there's seasons, there's, you know, some of them happen every year at the same time. There's new ones being added all the time. They're international. And there's some that you can just drive to, and some will be in your town. And if you don't want to, you know, like, I'm only going to look at ones that are in, I don't have a passport, you know, so mine actually expired. So I'm not going to go try to go to an international one. If I can drive to it, great. If I have to fly, you know, that's additional cost, that sort of thing. So it's just things you need to take into consideration. A lot of them nowadays, because of the pandemic, have been doing it, you know, hybrid, but they are giving the people who show up in person a little bit more, you know, some things are not recorded that you can't access online. And they have a few other things that you'll get, like swag and things like that you're not going to get as an online attendee. So there's just depending on, and the one-on-one, you know, time with people and sharing the experience. So you need to consider the workshops. Again, like I said, they're going to be before, during, and after, and if they're included or not. The trend that I have seen is that the workshops go from 1 to 3 days before or after, and they're extra money and they sell out fast. And usually, like if I think I'm gonna go to that, it's sold out. It's like, okay, it's still 6 months away, but okay. So you have to start planning these things like in advance. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. So the length of the conference, is this a half a day conference or 6 days? There is one that I've seen 6 days long. That is a lot of information and a lot of intense learning. Just consider the conference very intense. You're out of your element, you are in another element, and it's a lot. So if you're an introvert, or you need to take off a lot of time to go to these conferences, that sort of thing, sometimes you've got to consider if that's what you want to do or not. And then how much of a value of it is to your career. Is this really going to help my career? Is the company going to pay for it? A lot of the times the company will pay for professional growth. They have budgets for professional growth. They have, not had to spend it for the last couple of years. And one of the places that I worked at before had a professional growth budget of $500 for the whole team. And I'm like, that is not even enough. I mean, what are we going to do? Buy books, so, and share PDFs, it's just that's not enough. And that may be something that if it's really important to you, to go to conferences and go to certain things, that could be something that you use when you're interviewing. That could be I want, further education support. I want a budget of, $3,000 a year, $5,000 a year to be able to go to at least 2 conferences or something like that. That can be a negotiation tactic for getting hired on. I usually, ask about it, and I've never been given like, if you found something you want to go, then tell us. But working out all the time off and different things like that causes a challenge. But and also something to consider is information overload. This is going to be, I've said it before, it's going to be a lot, and you're not going to be able to process it in the moment. You're just going to have to take it in and kind of filter as you go. And as an introvert myself, believe it or not, I cannot handle that. That's why I'm bringing this up, because I know it's difficult to process everything, and you need time to kind of mull over everything. All right, so picking the conference and the sessions. It's really good if you can talk to your supervisor and find out if, like, again, what's the budget, what, are they going to let you have the time off, how much time is needed. If they say, well, we can only, spare you for like 3 days in a row, then you don't want to pick a conference that's, longer than that. But if it's just 2 days and, it takes you a day to travel or something like that, you can Google is your friend. Google the different conferences and you can narrow them down. I still think that there's a lot of places that list of different conferences that are coming up, but not all of them filter it the way you probably would be most useful. I have to kind of poke around a little bit and find which conferences would be best. I've heard lots of good feedback on certain things like the HCI one or the chai ones, CHI. That one, and I've never been, but a lot of people that are in the UX have gone to that one, and they have it in a different place every year. And you can also ask your, the communities and your coworkers and things for recommendations, and see where they like to go, in our groups. And then, just research it for yourself, just research the material and find out if that's what you really want to do. And also know that even if they're half a day to 6 days, you may only be interested in the last 3 days, so that way you can only pay for those 3 days and not have to pay for the 6. So that may help with the budget and the time off and that sort of thing. And then sometimes you can purchase the previous material, or that you can pay for, like sometimes it's $99 or sometimes you have to pay $300 or something like that. But maybe that's cheaper than going when you just want to hear this one speaker speak about this one subject. You can go to the past, things that they've done, or and watch it if you know about it coming up. So let it pass, and then you have access to those. Sometimes they put all that information in their website. Getting the most benefit is planning ahead. I've told you a lot about things you can do to plan ahead, but sometimes you need to do this a year in advance, or even more. I know it seems like a long time, but like I said, those things sell out. It's hard to get in, and that's it's just how it works, and people love going to these things. You can review the schedule, and like I said, you can go the day or 2 days, and you can go ahead, you can stay after, plan a family vacation around it, that sort of thing. Just review the schedule and make sure you're going to get the most benefit out of going to those things. Because if one day is just for specific people or specific track, or just learning certain things that you already know or not interested in, then you don't have to go to that. You can go and have that as a family day or a sightseeing day, and then go to the next day. Research the programs and the speakers and the sponsors, exhibitors at the event. The sponsors at the event have paid money to be there, and they usually have a close tie-in with the purpose of the conference. And it's really interesting because they're the ones with the tools, with the information, with the connection, or something to help you with your career. They're there for a reason. They're not there just to sell or make money or whatever. Hopefully that's a good thing for them, but also you can learn a lot from them and get to try out software that that you normally would not be able to see or be able to have time to play with or whatever. They'll give you free trials or a discount or something like that you normally wouldn't get. So it's really beneficial to look and see which sponsors are there, the exhibitors. If you're there in person, go to their tables, go listen to their presentations. I do encourage that. I know some people are like, oh, it's just sales teams and stuff, but it's very valuable. I've learned a lot from going to those. So don't just rule that out, but also look for the speakers, who they are. Some of them you may know, have heard their names before. And also, what they're going to be talking about. And I have seen some speakers, but I've already heard that talk before. So I'm not, I don't want to hear it again. I'm going to spend my time doing something else. So, but if I haven't heard that, then I can go. You can also get involved in getting the most out of the benefit. Like Bob was saying, we had the Mission UX conference that we put on, and I volunteered, and I didn't have to pay the fee. And I also have volunteered for other conferences and gotten free access. And yeah, you have to do a few things, but you're not going to miss the access to all of the information. As an attendee, you get free pass sometimes. I've done that a couple of times, and it's great because you're working alongside people and you're where it happens. So it's really, really a great way to do it. You can ask about volunteering. Usually there is a space or time ahead of time, like a year in advance. If it's like, I really want to go to this, but I don't have the money. I can take off work or have the time, but I just don't have the money to attend because it's so expensive. And it's just down the road, or, you know, I can get there quickly. And see if you could volunteer. Everybody's always wanting volunteers. So that's a great way to go for free and have access. And get experience. So, and then keep all of your receipts. Keep your receipts for reimbursement and tax purposes and that sort of thing. Especially if you're a freelancer or contractor or anything, you can use those receipts for everything. You know, the hotel, the food, the conference cost, and all of those things to get there. You can use that to write off on your taxes. So don't forget to do that. Get the most benefit out of it. Because it's professional development, you know. So and then let's see what we got. Okay, so what next? Oh, we didn't do the examples. There we go. Oh, nerd alert. Okay, so the examples, I wanted to show you that this is something that I have looked. Okay, gotta sign in, sorry.
Hello and welcome to the research program demo. My name is
no.
and I'm going to show you our education platform.
Okay,
Hello and
I didn't know this
welcome
was
to the
talking.
research program. Hello.
I have to log
and
into this.
Welcome to the research program
Sorry about
demo.
that.
My name is Cavendish and I'm going to show you how
Logged in here as UXSA, but I have a personal account. Anyway, this was let's see, research report. Make sure that doesn't go. Sign in. Log out. There we go. It's just using Google. Sorry.
hello.
Anyway, there is
and
a list
welcome
of
to the research program demo.
there is a list of conferences that they have that you can go in. You have to pay $8 a month for access to this, but it's Research Bookmark and it's got a tool of collections. And it's really amazing because they have gotten it together and they're showing it the way it should be shown. And I wish I could log in to show you. It doesn't give me any other chance but to log in that way.
Hello and
And I don't want to
welcome to
do
the
this.
research program
Okay.
demo.
Sorry, I'm gonna talk to them about that. Okay. So then here's the HCI International. It's gonna be in Denmark in July. So some of the things I said we were gonna, you know, that I pointed out that you're gonna find on all of those is you're gonna have accommodations, the program itself, the program overview, a keynote speech, workshops, tutorials, that sort of thing. And the exhibition is usually the, you know, people that are sponsors, that sort of thing, exhibitors. And you can just go in and check all this stuff out before you go. This is while you're, you know, looking at stuff and deadlines. They should have everything on their website. And they plan this well in advance, I promise. You know, this will be great to go, but you know, I'm not going to go overseas. So, but you can also see that there's, you know, lots of information on their websites that keep you going. You can spend hours on this. UXDX is another one that's in New York, and it's in person and online. It's, you know, hybrid, but they're going to give probably, you know, extra things to those who show up in person, because they're trying to do that. And then here's a list of all the speakers. You can see all the speakers and where they're from, the companies they work for. And then you can talk, you know, get a bio on them and learn about what they're going to be sharing with you, see if it's something that you're interested in. And then Rosenfeld Media is the one that I have spent the most time at. And they helped us actually launch UXSA. And they have a research path, they have a design path, and they have enterprise and that sort of thing. But the Advancing Research Conference happened this past in the end of March. And because I'm a friend of his and he knows that we promote, the Rosenfeld Media, he sent me a free attendance for that time period, and I got to see the videos and have access to them for 30 days after. And Gemma and I actually sat through several of them together so that we could learn, and they were 20-30 minutes long, but you got a lot of takeaways from it. And like this, I don't know if I can see this. No, should show it. Check out the background. But it's a drawing of notes, and they give you all the notes, and they give you all of the videos and things like that you can review and go over so that you can absorb it, a little on your own time. And it was great because we can just go through each one of those and see which one we liked. And I wanted to kind of share with you, like, it's 3 days long, and there's the themes that they were going to and the workshops. So, so day one, so they had the program, and then opening remarks, and then you go to, the why I left research, and then you can go in here and see information about it and all that. Well, we had access to this for 30 days, went into sketch notes and the slide deck. The session notes were like a whole website full of like almost a full transcription of everything. So in case there's something that you were looking for specifically, and then a resource list or books and things like that were provided. So, it was a lot of information. So you can go into these, and sometimes you can pay for these specifically. And just pay for that one later on. Now, this one is the dangers of empathy toward more responsible design research. I found that very fascinating. You can see some of these may not be as important to you. So you can just skip to the ones you like and all that, and then go to the next day. Let's see, day 2, and then day 3, and then the workshops. And then see how they're sold out. I'm like, oh, that one sounds good. I'm gonna know it's sold out. So you got to jump on while you can. And then there should be, there's a sponsor section. Sponsors are in there, and they have really good, they learned that it's not just sitting at a table handing out business cards. There's a lot more to it, and they get to demo things. So I didn't even know half of these people existed. I didn't know anything about Fable before this conference. I didn't know anything about them. So, it's an accessibility tool. So anyway, so I just wanted to share those examples with you, and let you know that that's some examples of how you can go in and just do the research, finding one that you like. And then now, what do you do that you have gone to this conference? First of all, after you get back, depending on how long it is, take a day or so off. Don't think about it. Try to empty your brain a little bit. You're going to be so pumped. You're going to be so ready to like share everything and just verbally vomit on people and tell them all the things you learned. I know how that feels, but you need to kind of relax a little bit and let yourself absorb it. Set up some follow-ups for the networking contacts that you made. You made friends, you made contact with them, email them, tell them, it was great to meet them, and set up a time to meet up again and just check in. Organize your thoughts, review the material with a fresh mind, and put it together for a presentation, just so you can share with your coworkers, with your company, do a lunch and learn. Make it really valuable for the company. That way they'll let you go again, because if you come back and you just poured all the information, that's not the way to go. You want to show that there was value to it. And some of these conferences actually give you letters to tell your boss, this is why I should go. And then they give you a letter to tell them, thank you for letting me go. They give you like a worded letter and everything. So we'll look for those. And the next thing you need to do is share with your community, people like our groups. If you learn something, one thing, if you like, I went to this one sponsor and that was so great. And it was, opened my eyes to this new experience. I want to share it with you, bring it. So, that's what you can do with the information after you're done and you're inspired. You want to tell somebody. I know Bob called me the other day. He was real excited about something. He's like, I just had to tell somebody. So, and we do that. And people we understand where we're from, where we're coming from on that. So don't be afraid to do that. So that's it. That's all I have. I do mentor Mondays, and my next session is June the 5th. If you want to talk more with me in that way, or you can send an email through the UX San Antonio, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. And now I'm done, and you can ask for any questions.